Could there be a more appropriate setting for a newly formed college than fertile farmland? The same land that was lovingly and carefully nurtured and cultivated for generations continues to nurture passions and cultivate young minds to this day. Even before the college first appeared on the edge of town, this farmland had its own distinguished history. In 1871, Columbus Delano, a two-term United States congressman and a former Secretary of the Interior, retired from public service to devote his days to the farm. Delano built a grand farmhouse on his 500-acre property. He called the house Lake Home. For the next century, Lake Home would continue to serve as a working farm. From the birth of the Church of the Nazarene, its leadership championed the value of higher education, establishing multiple colleges from the outset. In 1964, they set out to add two more. One assigned to serve Ohio, West Virginia, and Eastern Kentucky began with the somewhat utilitarian title of Zone A Junior College. As if anticipating the divine intervention the new venture would require, the project began with a budget of only $5,000. Several communities were considered as possible locations. The spacious and beautiful Lake Home Farm, with several functioning buildings and the necessary utilities already in place, quickly became the unanimous frontrunner. There was just one problem. The farm which the city of Mount Vernon was so eager to grant to the new college did not technically belong to them. In fact, the property actually belonged to another college, Ohio State University. Fortunately, OSU agreed to sell a 234-acre parcel to the proposed Nazarene College at a price of $1,000 an acre. In a matter of days, the community of Mount Vernon, Ohio raised $209,000. But despite their best efforts, at the deadline they found themselves $25,000 short. Disappointed, community leaders telephoned officials at Ohio State to inform them that the initial terms of the negotiation could not be met. But instead, that phone call revealed a God who had been at work all along, who had every intention of building his house and was not about to let his builders labor in vain. It turns out that Ohio State, in due diligence, had commissioned a new survey of the Lake Home property, which showed the original deed to be in error. Rather than 234 acres, the size of the college parcel was miraculously 209 acres. And the purchase price would be $209,000, precisely the amount that had been raised. The sale went through. The land was given outright to the Church of the Nazarene, and a new Christian liberal arts college found a home in Mount Vernon, Ohio. For nearly 50 years, that school, now known as Mount Vernon Nazarene University, has more than fulfilled the divine promise so evident at its birth. Through the sacrifice and faithfulness of countless individuals, an institution that welcomed a pioneer class of 191 students in 1968 now boasts more than 18,000 alumni scattered across the globe. Graduates who recall the early days when the cafeteria was located in the old barn now return to a growing campus featuring some of Knox County's most iconic structures. But the real legacy of Mount Vernon Nazarene University cannot be measured in buildings erected or in bachelor degrees conferred. Rather, it is found in the lives of its students and graduates, its faculty and staff, its alumni and partners and friends, who carry with them a deeply held value which permeates this place and its people. To seek to learn is to seek to serve. Today, we step into the rich tradition of this place, the heritage of a simple farm that brought life to a community. We join hands with those dreamers who followed God's call when the dream seemed impossible. Because the truth is that the story of Mount Vernon Nazarene University is our story. The same God who blessed a farm and brokered a sale is still at work here today. Lives are being transformed. Futures are being discovered. This story, our story, continues to unfold today. We confidently embrace all that MVNU has been because we know what MVNU is. MVNU is life-changing.